Okay, Ricky. You have time?
He starts, I go.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Ricky.
Hello everyone, my name is Ricky Lewis, founder of Meraki Laboratories, the place where passion and purpose meet. So Peter Lynch wrote in his New York Times bestseller, One Up on Wall Street, that during the gold rush, it wasn't the miners that were to make money, but it was actually the people that were selling the tools, such as the shovels, the pickets, blue jeans, that made a profit. Well, folks, the gold rush has long since passed. However, the green rush is here. And if you were thinking green, leafy, and sticky, you were thinking correctly. That's right, the cannabis industry is here, and it's here in a major way. In fact, 1.4 billion tons of cannabis is expected to be consumed in California in 2018. To be more specific, Sacramento is expected to have 110,000 pounds of consumed cannabis within the year 2018. Now this market, this $20 million potential market of Sacramento, is comprised of cultivators, manufacturers, and dispensaries that are all looking for 3 different testing facilities to perform their analysis. In hindsight, there's just simply a bottleneck that the testing facilities are not able to perform the testing. So we look to provide services, not only a full testing, lab testing facility, where we will charge a $75 service per test, but we're also looking for future revenue streams to come from an app that would provide information as well as results for the analysis, and create a research pipeline where we could study things like shelf life of manufactured goods. So my background, I have a background in biological engineering. I have a master's from Penn State. I currently work in the food and beverage industry for the past 4 years, where I've used the same tools for analysis on different matrix products such as corn. Our team is incomplete. We're looking to build our team out, but as well, we're looking for $1 million in initial investment. And of course, we need you. This is a call to action for the resources, for the networks that you as investors have. With the money that we're seeking, we're going to put approximately $600,000 towards equipment, overhead, utility, rent, and of course personnel. So we are willing to negotiate either a return on investment or convertible equity in return for this initial investment. And we hope that you join us at Meraki Labs, the place where passion and purpose meet. Thank you.
Right on time.
Good job. I'll start. I'll give you a 4. I think you have something, but my biggest challenge right now is wrapping my head around how you scale. And I've mentioned that to you before, and I'm not 100% clear. I mean, you did mention something, but that didn't come across here. You know how I feel about your name and your logo. I think your pacing overall was good, but there were some places where it was off, like picks and shovels. We kind of all get that one. Your animations were distracting, especially like slide 3. It was like nothing. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then you animated it in, like just show us the greens. And 5, I felt like you weren't 100% on that slide. You started kind of so you need to work on that. Although I appreciate that you did have it memorized, and overall your pacing and delivery was strong. 7, your audience isn't necessarily all investors all the time. So, I mean, you were in there. Some of those mentors are mentors, not investors. So I think your closing got kind of hokey, and I think you just need to standardize it and polish it up. And part of that is just like, maybe you should come to Million Cups in the morning and see other presentations and make that maybe part of your routine. Your economic slide should be use of funds. And I thought that was actually pretty good, but the slide before it was weak. When you talked about negotiation, I was like, no, we're not talking about negotiation in your slide. You're just talking about what you need so that the people that you're presenting to know how they can help you if they are sold on what you're doing. So, you know, refer to that comment in the group today that I posted. If you've not seen it, go back and check it out.
Okay. So can I answer?
No, we're short on time.
I'll give you 4. I'm a little concerned. I've been to a couple of like cannabis events, and I'm a little concerned that you're becoming a fast follower. And being a fast follower in and of itself is not a concern to me, but I think that there's a lot of like first movers coming on the scene in this, and so I would you know re-emphasize how you not just what you're trying to do, but what your competitive advantage is. So I would identify, and I can send you. I'm happy to send you, you know, a list of the people who I've noticed who are trying to do something that you're trying to do, and you can investigate and look forward. But I would address that head on, so that you can define your competitive advantage. Because I like this, but as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking to myself like, man, you know, there's a lot of people know, you know, cannabis is like, you know, the next internet potentially, and so there's a lot of people, there's a lot of companies getting in there trying to find the perfect strain, right? So how are you different?
So I gave you 2. I found that it took you a while for you to tell us that it's a testing facility that you're going to start. So there was like a whole minute of like getting to that point. Now, in a normal world, this would be, in my view, or the way I appreciate the kind of a bank financed kind of, I mean, banks can get into it because of the federal regulation, and I can imagine, et cetera. But it's the kind of opportunity that you have to bring a lot of operational expertise to. You know, it's not innovation. You don't have to invent anything. You just have to deliver testing services and and satisfy your customers in a very effective way. So, so your pitch, given if that's the frame, if I'm receiving it in an accurate way, then that really should be the thrust of your company. Why you are operationally prepared to operate this very effectively and can replicate hopefully in the future. You kind of bring up mobile app and research, et cetera. I thought that didn't help you because it kind of confused what the company is. You know, it's a testing lab, great, make it look best testing lab in the world, and just kind of leave it at that. Your name is kind of confusing to a California audience because Meraki's a huge technology company. You're not in that same that got bought out, so it's kind of an odd name from that perspective. Just because the people here lots of people here would know it, you know what it is. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
So I also gave you a 2. This was a tough call for me, but the one big problem, and it's been articulated already, was I felt the balance of your presentation was way off. Meaning, a minute to get to what you even do, that's a problem. You got a 3-minute pitch, you can't spend 45 seconds telling me about the gold rush, even though the metaphor is spot on. Like I need to know what you're doing. And then you told me, and then you were off about negotiations and fundraising stuff. So you need to spend a lot more time making sure it's clear and articulate what you're doing, not just all the other ancillary things going on in the presentation. I shared this with the other cannabis presenter, and I feel this way strongly. I think a lot of people maybe disagree with me, so you can take this advice or leave it. But I said it again, there is the elephant in the room that you are dealing with an industry that is still illegal as far as the federal government is concerned, which means there is just an enormous amount of regulatory risk. And if you can't articulate to me a way that is addressable or not problematic, or that you can pivot around it, my gut tells me that's a risk too far. That can't be mitigated against, and so why take that chance? A few policymakers have all the authority in the world to kind of shut you down overnight if they so decide. And then fundamentally what you described here as well sounds like a very good kind of operational business, not necessarily a scalable, pitchable one, in terms of like your traditional venture, takeoff, moonshot type of company. Doesn't mean that's a bad company in any way, but what it does mean is it kind of dictates how you're going to pitch this to investors and what you're going to ask for. I was surprised to hear $1 million ask when, the team hasn't even been built out yet. And he didn't tell me what the $1 million was going to do exactly. So that's a big number, kind of a big number pre-traction. And so maybe that was just, I missed it in the presentation,
Because you were distracted by how off it sounded.
right. So you got to really think through that number. It's got to have a reason behind that. Those are my thoughts.
Thank you.
The economics of even raising that much with convertible note and then this thing, yeah, you need to go back and do more research on that. And you haven't had office hours with me, so
Okay.
I'm like, no excuses.
So just a, convertible note is something that is kind of wholly dependent on a venture style thing, so it's just not applicable. You're building a different kind of business. So,
At least it sounds like it now.
mhm.
So without some changes to your business and or revenue model, which obviously you do office hours.
Okay, I'll schedule office hours with you.
Who's next? Larry? John?
John, sure.
I only called you Larry. There you are. Okay, so maybe that's part of why.
Yep.
I was gonna blame it on 1-1.
Yeah, I'm just distracting you.
You can feel free to call me Beyonce.
No, that's, would you like to be? I'd be happy to.
Do we have that converter, or is that over there?
Yeah, we don't have one in this room.
There's one over there, and I'm not sure they're using it.
There should be, Impact has one and I brought mine, so you might be in luck.
Dude's tired.
Who, John? Oh, he's got one.
He's got one base.
He's like me, but they know that I did it, so I'm like.
She raised the bar. She raised the bar.
Let's see, before you go.
We got hell of people to go. It's gonna be a late night, Marco. This is good, yeah. But we're
All right.
we're separating the wheat from the chaff tonight. I already know
All right.
Ryan's gone. Not that, I don't know about her yet.
We'll do the-
Another one I know from what I heard.